And in this final round, we find John McWhorter in the Budweiser lane in his 66 Olds 442, taking on Kenny Asbury out of Handyville, Kentucky in his 64 Plymouth Sports Fury, another 426 cubic inch power plant. As they come to the line, it's McWhorter up against Asbury. Watch the lights come down. Here they come. And it's Asbury with the lead, jumping right out to it. But look at this 442 come on at the 8th mile mark. He slides just a bit, but holds on. It's a heck of a race. Asbury trying to put it all over McWhorter. McWhorter wins it, 12:44. Winston Lane, it's Perry Bruce again in that 70 Chevrolet Corvette. By the way, Mike, this is a four-speeder bet, and you can definitely see that he is trying to yank some gears right up out of the floorboard in this one.
Well, listen, he's getting demonized by George Eburst out of Chardon, Ohio, as the George Eburst version goes through, but he couldn't do it, Dan.
No, he couldn't. The vet wins at 13-13 on the run.
They came to race, and the first man up that says he wants it is Brian Scott Whitaker out of Alliance, Ohio. He's in the 1969 Pontiac Grand Prix. Look at this tunnel ramp poking up through the hood, 455 inches. Horsepower rating, are you ready for this? 500 horsepower.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Wayne County Speed Shop sponsored Jim Musgrave in his 72 Chevy Nova here in the Winston Lane. It looks like he's got his hands full.
Yes, he does, Dan, as the Pontiac looks like he has the edge that they make the 8th mile mark. And he's good for it. Goes through with a 12:46, 101 mile an hour pass.
Well, over here in the Winston Lane this time it's going to be Eric Larson out of Spring Valley, Ohio. He's in the 77 Pontiac Trans Am, 450 horsepower net, and that's a factory rating.
Well, his opponent is Ray Brown out of Glasgow, Kentucky in the 65 Plymouth Satellite with a 440, but Danny could not do it.
Here in the Winston Lane now, it's Mike Matthews in a beautifully prepared 4-speed 67 Corvette Roadster.
One of my favorite cars at the event this weekend, Dan. It's Ken Feather out of Wayne City, Illinois in the 1971 Mercury Capri. You ready for the power block? A 440, 475 horsepower rating.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Corvette's got its hands full. Look at this, Mike. Good race, but it goes to the Capri at 12:02. Ken Feather, the automotive instructor in that 71 Mercury Capri. Again, 440 cubic inches over here in the Winston Lane.
Well, Dan, he better hope he brought enough to deal with what I've got over on the Budweiser side. It's Jim Turner in this awesome 1970 Buick Grand Sport, 500 horsepower.
I'll tell you what, it's won or lost right there off the line, and it looks like I'm in trouble.
Look at the Budweiser lane scoot down the track. He's got a 3-car length head as they hit the 8th mile mark on the track. Good race for Turner, 11:73 out of the Budweiser side.
Well, in the Winston Lane this time, it's one tough character. It's Brian Whitaker out of Alliance, Ohio. He's here in the 69 Pontiac Grand Prix, 500 horsepower. And look at that left front come up, Mike.
Well, you can bet the Budweiser side is worried, Dan, as it's Eric Larson in the 77 Pontiac Trans Am. He's only got 450 horsepower.
Well, I don't think it's going to be enough. Whitaker way out in front. Watch the lights. 12:32 on the win at 109 miles per hour.
Good drag race, Dan. Looks like it's going to be Brett Shaw up over the Budweiser side in the 66 Chevy 2. It's black. It's got a 377 cubic inch small block Chevy.
Well, he's up against the blue 1970 Buick Grand Sport, 500 horsepower. You saw the wheels come up as they left the line, Mike.
Well, this is a tight race all the way down. Look at this. Half track, they're dead even, Dan. Too close to call from here.
It's going to be a close race. Look at this, Mike. 11:52's a pair.
Unbelievable, Dan.
But the wins over here in the Winston Lane. I'll tell you what. So Whitaker, on what basically was no more than a bye run, takes the win in the FX class. It's an awesome piece of equipment that he sits behind, the 69 Pontiac Grand Prix, 455 cubic inches, 500 horsepower. Let's take a look as Brian Whitaker wins in the FX class.